That island wasn't just a project for Techland. It was a deeply personal, incredibly ambitious obsession. They'd spent years playing around with safe little parodies like Call of Yours. Fun, sure, but a bit too much like a quick fling. They wanted something heavier. But as a small team, they were struggling hard. This scope was massive, a total lifestyle change from the dry, lonely Wild West to a dripping, humid tropical paradise. We're talking about moving from a desert to a place that's wet in all the right places. Jungles, cities, and sun-drenched beaches. Between the complex environment and the gorge system, which they had to rebuild from the ground up to make every penetration feel visceral, the team was utterly spent. Both their energy and their bank accounts were drained.
Bruh.
Before long, the project just went soft. After a few years of gathering dust, their island finally got its second wind when Deep Silver bought the IP.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Now, I'm not sure how Deep Silver had the balls to buy such an unfinished, messy, virgin project from a developer with no reputation. My theory? Techland went looking for a green light and found a publisher who was a little too eager to get their hands on something cheap. Long story short, they got the funding, but Techland lost the top position. Deep Silver was the calling shots now.
Oh, hell no, man.
It's an open secret that Deep Silver loves quote-unquote helping small developers. They act like a generous lover, but honestly, they're a bit dim-witted, especially when money is involved. They're the classic grass is greener type, always peeking over the fence to see what everyone else is playing with. The proof is in the trailers versus the actual retail game. I don't need to get too graphic here. The difference is visible to the naked boobs. I mean, naked eye.
Bruh.
How do you go from that emotional, slow burn trailer to this frantic gameplay?
I got a zombie army and you can't harm me.
Hey,
Yeah,
watch it.
You voodoo, bitch. Drink blood like a vampire without warning. Come fuck with a
Another
zombie, I
drunk
put a
jerk
stick
off
in your
against
head.
his
Look,
God's kid.
you want cool like a fucking
Stupid
spoon.
git.
Maybe everybody dies and see your ass real soon.
Luckily, I'm a fan of same diss tracks. I've always had a thing for a good BBC. A big, beautiful composition.
Bruh.
I mean, if the music isn't hitting the right notes, what's the point?
Are you sure about that?
But do you want to know what Techland was actually doing while Deep Silver was distracted? Keep listening, because I'm about to spill the tea on a move so bold, it's practically indecent. The self-sabotage and the power of 4. I found an interview from 2007. It's in Polish, but the subtext is universal.
Ona się zaczyna dosyć dziwnie, może niewinnie,
Następuje katastrofa małej awionetki, którą leciała tam para narzeczonych. Jako główny bohater budzimy się na plaży. Widzimy, że nie ma naszej partnerki, gdzieś zniknęła.
The original story was supposed to be a gritty solo affair. A man searching for his lost partner after a crash. Intense, focused, very one-on-one. But then Deep Silver walked in and demanded a 4-player co-op.
Bruh.
Why? Because they saw Left 4 Dead's massive success and got greedy. Or, more likely, they were just looking for a cheap zombie IP they could dress up and sell to the masses in the very first fucking place.
Oh, hell no, man.
They didn't just change the numbers, they changed the whole mood. They took a sad, desperate story and forced it into a pulpy, vibrant Hollywood theme. They thought the contrast of a happy beach and bloody zombies would make everyone come. To the stores, I mean.
Bruh.
As the submissive partner, Techland had to obey. They were forced to make one solid vision and split it into 4 different classes. My boss, Rust, told me that if you could just combine the unique talents of those 4 characters, the gameplay would be infinitely more satisfying. Imagine one body that can bash down doors, tackle enemies with raw force, and has specialized mastery in every tool, blunt or sharp. When Fury modded those skills together in one save game file, he said it was addictive. It was so good that he felt sad about why these skills were separated, making it a hit or miss experience for players wanting to try the game, sometimes getting lucky with a good character, or the opposite, feeling discouraged because they ended up choosing a bad character. It's a tragedy they split them up. It's the difference between a partner who knows one trick and a partner who knows everything. Now this is where it gets delicious. Techland played along, but they weren't exactly faithful. They released that legendary tear-jerker trailer
Bruh.
that left Deep Silver clutching their pearls. It went so viral that Deep Silver panicked and ordered voice lines to be re-recorded just to make the game feel sadder. During an interview, Phil Lamar, the voice behind Sambi, expressed his deep regret over the many recorded voice lines, which he felt had tons of great jokes, punchlines, and one-liners that had to be scrapped and replaced with sad ones due to the trailer's virality. But since their replacements were half-hearted, they all ended up sounding confused, unsure whether to joke or to be serious. I think it's more like he wanted to apologize for his performance in the final game. That's obviously bad per se. It's like they wanted to be serious, but the game's missions were all about humor.
I knew I had to get inside somewhere fast and came up on this place, but phew, it's locked up tight in a nun's asshole.
And just when you thought it was a joke, someone would suddenly be crying in a pool of blood.
My wife. My dad. Oh, fuck, my own fucking brother. Jesus Christ! What else could I do? Let him kill me?
The forgettable characters doesn't help the players to feel empathetic either.
Then give me what I need.
What are you saying, Dad? I'm not going anywhere.
No, honey, listen to me. You have to, honey. There's nothing for you here now.
I'm not leaving you.
This adds to the public judgments that Deep Silver is notoriously cheap. They wanted a complete personality makeover, but didn't want to pay for the extras.
Bruh.
The result? Like Phil Lamar himself said, a game that is a bit confused. Some NPCs are weeping, others are cracking jokes at the wrong time. It's like a date that can't decide if they want to cry or keep going. Eventually, Deep Silver lost their patience.
Huh?
Why isn't this finished yet?
Bruh.
Ignoring the fact that their own position swapping caused all the delays. Techland had to finish fast. They got 2 major maps to save time, and Deep Silver, bless their greedy hearts, decided to package them as a DLC. Because again, grass is greener. That was the hot new way to squeeze a few more dollars out of their fans at that time. So the game released, and boom, it sold well. But obviously a lot of people think that it was a different game promised from the trailer. The breaking point. You think with all that success, they'd give Techland a bigger budget for the sequel, right? Wrong.
Huh?
Instead of investing in the devs, they blew the money on a theme song featuring Chameleonaire, a top-tier rapper. Can you imagine the check they cut for that? Again, thank God this song is a bop.
The air's getting thick. When the dead start to rise, there's no place to hide. Well, I ain't going to hell. Let them know I won't need a lease. I stay hungry, I need a feast. I'm like, didn't I tell you don't feed the beast? Went and got a little holy water, then put it all in my Jesus piece. Got it wet like she's seen the beach, and I think your girl is gonna need a priest.
Even so, Techland tried their best to improve the mechanics. Group fury, weapon skill levels, and a very janky dropkick.
Bruh.
You could tell the developer were working for scraps. Fast forward to the sequel talks. Techland actually had a head start. They wanted to set the next game in the Middle East with a brand new mechanic, parkour. Just like before, but instead of a fake blood drive grand prize invitation to a luxury island vacation, 4 characters would meet at a high-stakes athletic tournament. One of them was even named Scorpion. Sounds familiar?
Time to lay low. Find a safe spot to make it through the night. The night's coming, guys. I repeat, the night's coming. Good night, and good luck.
Techland bared it all for Deep Silver, showing them the sleek, athletic vision. Deep Silver's reaction? Total rejection. No, we want California. We want the sun.
Huh?
Why is there sand everywhere? And why are they running on walls? It's too much.
Bruh.
That was the moment Techland realized they were in a toxic relationship. They thought, God damn, if we stay with these people, we are going to get screwed again. And poof, the news hit. Creative differences regarding the future of Dead Island IP.
Gay.
Deep Silver put the development of Dead Island 2 up for auction. Being the cheapskates they are, they wanted a massive scope for a tiny price. Jaeger stepped up, probably thinking it would be a great career move.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Bless their hearts, they had no idea what kind of monster they were dealing with. Fast forward mid-work, Deep Silver still couldn't stop looking at neighbors. While Jaeger was working, the game was even almost done in the making. Deep Silver suddenly decided they wanted an MMO.
What the fuck?
Because those were trending. Jaeger basically had to take a hammer to their own foreheads. They were forced to use a heavy engine for an open world and then told to make it a massive multiplayer experience. Pure masochism. But wait, why are we still talking about Deep Silver and Jaeger's messy divorce? We're here for the real climax. We're here for Techland's biggest, hardest move. The goated reverse Uno move. Remember that rejected version of Dead Island 2? Techland didn't let it go to waste. Techland cleverly took a trip down memory lane. They initially wanted to create a gritty single-player game. So they quickly made some changes that flipped the script. In Dead Island, they were forced to take one solid cohesive vision and split it into 4 different classes. It was like being teased. You can have the blunt force, or the sharp edge, or the throwing skills, but never all at once. It was a total choose your fetish situation that left everyone feeling a little bit unfulfilled. But with rebranding the scrap vision as Dying Light, Techland decided to take those 4 separate personalities and cram them all into one single, massive, overperforming body. Think about it. Instead of 4 characters who can only do one thing well, they gave us one man who can do everything. They took all those skills, the flesh slashing, the bone snapping, the limb cleaving, cheek clapping, vagina sniffing, clit slurping, dick sucking, and that delicious high-speed movement. And they stuffed them all into one character. It's like going from a quickie with 4 strangers to an all-night marathon with a pro who knows exactly where all the buttons are. Equivalent to my boss, Furious said, when he played Dead Island with those multi-character combined skills. He said the gameplay felt so solid. And honestly, I get it. Who wants to be restricted to one class when you can have a character that's versatile, flexible, especially now with Dying Light also has better movement, parkour, to run across the rooftop all night long. Techland took the vibrant, happy beach ideas from Deep Silver and threw it in the trash, replacing it with the dark, gritty, and sweaty atmosphere of Haran, basically an improved Morse beam up with much more verticality. They traded the clunky, anchored walking of Dead Island for the fluid, rhythmic, and, let's be real, downright athletic parkour of Dying Light. And the best part of this reverse, the lead man. They gave us Kyle Crane. Honey, Crane isn't just a protagonist. He is a masterpiece. He's got the voice.
I'm about to unleash the beast! I'm unleashing it! I'm unleashing the beast! I'm unleashing it! Look, I'm unleashing the beast.
He's got the voice, the build, and the kind of save the world energy that makes me want to be the one he's saving. Yeah, fuck Jade, man. Wait, I think I prefer to have threesome with them. Anyway, he's the legendary CAE08. And let's be honest, he's the undisputed daddy of my future children. Techland took their rejection from Deep Silver and turned it into the most satisfying screw you in gaming history. They didn't just make a game, they made a masterpiece that hits all the right spots over and over again. Well, except for the story, it was trash. Also, the more ironic thing is that after Unleashed from the Deep Silver Publishing, Techland goes to WB Games instead.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Like, what the fuck, Techland? 20 million copies sold, but the money is mostly to them.
Bruh.
Techland got caught again and again. Why do other creators talk about this? Maybe they can't handle the intensity. Or maybe it's all just my naughty little fantasy.
What the fuck?
Oops. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I am Siren, later alligator. What? Do you mad at me for yapping lies? Then come at me, handsome. Try and fuck me. I mean, literally. I'm bleeding. Come on. Come here. Please.